Aries, one of the 12 Olympian gods, is known as one of the most dangerous supervillains out there. His rage has caused chaos all across the multiverse. His biggest enemy? Wonder Woman, who's actually his granddaughter, and sometimes half-sister depending on the version. Aries is a force to be reckoned with. His very presence can spark a war, which is why he's called the God of War. In the DC universe, Aries' character is based on the Greek god, but he's had different looks and powers depending on who's writing the story. Today, we're diving into his character arc, powers, abilities, and his overall appearance. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Aries and what is his background? Born to the gods of the Greek pantheon Zeus and Hera, Aries is the god of war. He was born in Skyland, a trans-dimensional land situated in the sphere of the gods, which exists outside of the multiverse. Aries fell in love with the goddess of love, Aphrodite. The two gave birth to a lot of children, including the twin sons Phobos, the god of fear, and Deimos, the god of terror. Aries never fit in the world of the gods, as he had a vision of eternal war in the peaceful world of humanity. His ideas were opposed by his own love, Aphrodite, who had a vision of a loving and peaceful civilization. Aphrodite created the Amazons, and a land only meant for the women to rule, called Amazonia, where they're stronger than Aries' men. Hippolyta was given the golden girdle, making her invincible. Jealous of it, Aries creates his own base on Mars, enslaving its people and making the Duke of Deception, Earl of Greed, and Conquest his chief deputy. He collected souls from various war zones and enslaved them with the Martians. The slaves would be tested through several levels, and the strongest would be sent for training and given new bodies to wage wars on Earth. When his madness escalated, Aries was incarcerated by the gods of Olympus in a pocket dimension on the island of Themyscira, which could only be accessed through a tree, which only became visible to whom Aries wanted to. Hephaestus, the god of craftsmanship, was given the task of forging shackles that would tame his powers and fury. Aphrodite was given the task of binding Aries with shackles, but surprisingly, he didn't retaliate and willfully conceded. To prevent the twins from releasing their father, the gods would remove the memories of Themyscira from the minds of those who left that place. Aries first appeared in the Wonder Woman comics as her rival and continued to reappear in several versions. He was mostly depicted wearing a Roman gladiator or Greek hoplite. In several versions, he's been given red eyes, a face hidden with the Attic helmet, and an indigo battle armor. Throughout the comics, he's also called Mars instead of Aries in the Gold and Silver and Bronze Age of comics. Why was Aries imprisoned in Themyscira? Being the god of war, Aries grew wild and ferocious. The gods feared that if he was left free, his wrath would create havoc on the multiverse. The Amazons were trusted with the eternal task of guarding the prison. Aries witnessed the birth of Diana, the daughter of the queen of the Amazons, Hippolyta. He had foreseen her future about leaving the island. One day, Aries transmuted into a snake, opened the tree, and bit Diana when she was horse riding around the place. The bite was to let her visit Themyscira without ever needing to find the place. Eventually, the gods manipulated her memory to make her believe that she had already rediscovered the land. She left and became the Wonder Woman. Once, his twin sons, Phobos and Deimos, tried to lift the location of the land from her brain, but they were met with failure as she didn't remember the real location of Themyscira, as her memories were manipulated by the gods of Olympus. Aries had been an ally and a foe of the Amazons. Enraged by the success of Amazonia, he ordered Hercules to steal the golden girdle from Hippolyta, eventually enslaving the Amazons. Aphrodite helped them escape from the hands of Aries and sent them to their hidden home, Themyscira, which ironically became the prison for Aries, and they became the guardians of the prison. What role does Aries play in DC Rebirth? After the failure to find the location of Wonder Woman, the twins took the help of Veronica Cale, a billionaire genius, to find the island. The twins banished Cale's daughter's soul to the island, forcing her to strike up a deal. Cale eventually uses Wonder Woman's connection to the gods to open the portal, allowing her and Wonder Woman to enter the prison. When the twins met their father, they were able to break through the prison. However, Wonder Woman stopped them by using the lasso of truth and compelled them to love their mother, Aphrodite, eventually defeating them. Eventually, Cale and Diana left the place. Years and years later, a mysterious tree teleports to the land, which Wonder Woman believes is her home. When a drop of her blood opens the portal, Cale and Diana encounter Aries. Cale's daughter, whose soul was sent here, becomes his ward, and he tells them that if she leaves, her physical and astral forms will split. However, she can live with Amazons without ever aging. Later, Grail, the daughter of the new god Darkseid, arrived and shared the prison with Aries. Darkseid was the ruler of the apocalypse, and he and Grail were defeated by Wonder Woman. and the Amazons left her in prison to suffer. Grail motivates him to be the hero of the week, to mend his ways, manipulating her to kill him with the God-Killer sword. Throughout her journey, Aries has been a driving force for Wonder Woman, as his manipulated events, conflicts, and wars have resulted in her pushing forward her ideals of justice, and eventually confronting her own fate as a warrior. His constant presence shaped her character and understanding of the multiverse. In the DC reboot, the origin of Wonder Woman is retold. In that storyline, people in a mall are infected with seer virus, making them go mad and homicidal. Though Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman control the situation, they discover a shocking revelation of the virus being an anagram of Aries. After the discovery, Aries soon attacks and informs of his desire to spread the virus. This arc contributed to the rebirth of DC. How does Aries attempt redemption? When Aries is in prison with Grail, he realizes that he should become a symbol of justice and help the weaker fight. He influenced Grail with his powers to kill him with the God-Killer sword, which caused the island to collapse. He appeared in Durovnia as the leader of the rebels against the government. He was under the impression that the people of Durovnia suffered tyranny, which was caused by their government, and assumed that it was his duty to help them get their freedom. Etta Candy and Steve Trevor were sent to Durovnia, as Durovnia was an ally of the United States, eventually involving Wonder Woman in the battle too. Aries explained to her that now he's changed and he's looking for a redemption. Sooner rather than later, Diana realizes that his idea of justice is very different from that of the conventional meaning of justice, as he redirects a missile at a whole village, taking several innocent lives who supported the government. While Aries was struggling with his understanding of the conventional meaning of justice, Wonder Woman and Steve found Aphrodite as their ally against Aries, and they stopped him from destroying the nation's government. When Aries somehow understood what justice really meant, he sought out the help from the god of wisdom, Athena, in the hopes of being the god he now wanted to be. What was Ares' involvement in the Infinite Frontier? The DC multiverse expanded without any limit, and Darkseid emerged as the biggest threat to the multiverse. Ares' redemption arc was cut short, as darkness took him over. The darkness forces encroached on the multiverse when Darkseid sought to harness the energy and potential of Earth-Zero to his power, and this invasion turned out to be a great threat to the existence of multiple worlds. The Justice League of Earth-Zero and the Justice League Incarnate tracked down the initial point of invasion, which turned out to be the ruins of the pre-Crisis multiverse. Pariah in Multiverse 2 was trying to modify the antimatter chamber, which would allow the darkness to enter reality. Dr. Multiverse teleported everyone to Multiverse 2, and they tried to convince Pariah. However, Pariah didn't bat an eye at them, and called Ares and other possessed supervillains. Green Arrow successfully destroyed the chamber, ripping the ties between the darkness and reality. As a result, Ares and other supervillains and the dark forces are dispelled. However, the darkness forces and Ares eventually invaded Earth-Zero. The superheroes successfully evicted Pariah to the Pocket Dimension, and Ares and others were held captive as the darkness transferred to Deathstroke. Black Adam released Ares and other possessed supervillains by using lightning, eliminating the darkness from Deathstroke. What are the powers possessed by Ares, the old god, and how did they contribute to his nearly unlimited strength and abilities? The old gods are those gods who belong to the ancient and powerful gods. Ares, as the old god, possessed several unlimited powers. Ares can see and understand events, as if he's present there witnessing everything, even though he's not. Because of this power called clairvoyance, he knew about Grail, even if he never met her or knew about the relationship between his twin sons and Veronica Cale. He could summon lightning from the sky to strike at a specific contender. The cosmic awareness of the entire multiverse and everything beyond it gives him an understanding of the life that exists beyond the capabilities of humans and immortals. His superhuman abilities and godly powers highly contribute to his sharp reflexes, superhuman agility, stamina, and high levels of intelligence. He can travel between dimensions, draws power from war and violence, and can perform dark magic. He's also great at shapeshifting, which can be seen when he transforms himself into a snake and bites Diana to give her the gift of visiting Ares without any portals. He can alter his size depending on the situation, growing larger to defeat enemies. Because of his godly power and strength, he's tremendously great at hand-to-hand combat and an expert martial artist. His knowledge of the dimensions allowed him to master strategies, making him a great tactician. Is Aries immortal? Can he fly at missile-like speeds? Does he create energy weapons and see into the future? For the most part, yes, Ares is considered immortal, and he's worshipped by the ancient Romans and Greeks as the old god, having lived for a millennium. Being a god gave him the power of immortality. However, he can be harmed by magical weapons. Ares, being an old god, can fly without any form of technology, and that too at speeds faster than that of a missile. His speed is even considered equal to that of Hermes if he absorbs huge violent energy. He's capable of producing weapons out of pure energy. Ares has another unique set of abilities, the ability to foresee the future. When Grail claims that her father Darkseid would arrive soon to release her, killing Ares in the process, he said nothing like that is ever going to happen, as he's seen the future. This sort of incident contributes to his claim of having the ability of precognition. It's also said that Aries was able to resurrect the dead, having control over the dead and ordering them to appear whenever he wanted. This also earned him the title of the Death God. Is Aries nearly indestructible? Does he have godlike strength, memory-absorbing telepathy, and the power to cast illusions? Aries has a proven record of not being slightly injured, even after taking all kinds of hits by Wonder Woman and others. He seems indestructible to all kinds of damage his foe can inflict on him, having superhuman durability. The ability to regenerate contributes to his ability to rapidly heal, allowing him to recover from deadly and significant injuries rather easily, making it nearly inevitable. He's an extremely powerful and strong old god, even having handled the active missiles with ease, as if it's just a normal thing. He has maneuvered several powerful entities, including Wonder Woman. So yes, he does have almost infinite strength. Aries can easily control the minds of others, having a record of being able to absorb memories of people and then causing serious damage to them. Once, while doing so, he even made Wonder Woman so weak and vulnerable that she started bleeding from her eyes. If this wasn't enough, he can also cast powerful illusions to escape from anyone, including mortals and gods. He used to appear as a civilian in hooded clothes, and hence successfully deceived them. His telepathic abilities allowed him to contact his worshippers mentally, communicating with them and transmitting images at an interdimensional range. He can even alter reality to his own benefit. The Master of War, Aries is a skilled warrior, having knowledge and understanding of almost all kinds of weapons. He could operate without tiring for a long period of time, a gift he has as an Olympian. His indestructibility is also a reward of being an Olympian, as they can only be harmed by magical weapons and not conventional means. He also possesses pyrokinesis abilities, as he can manipulate fire and generate it simply by using his hands and burst it toward his opponent. He could call a flame that would burn the souls. What weaknesses does he have? Irrespective of his godly powers, he does have his own set of weaknesses. One of them was his love for Aphrodite made him do things he normally would never do. Aphrodite's words could even bend the will of Aries, the god of war. The loss of power also weakens him, and the loss of worshippers, so he must gain some indirect worship to be in power. The Amulet of Harmonia also affects him, as he's vulnerable to attack from anyone who uses it. The amulet, an artifact from Greek mythology, is a cursed necklace that brings suffering and tragedy to those who wear it, often leading to tragic losses, family feuds, and betrayals. His arrogance and supreme confidence in being invincible causes him to be reckless and lead him to make stupid mistakes. This sometimes does not turn out in his favor, which ends up in his defeat. What weapons does Aries use? Aries used the double axe as his primary weapon, a symbol of his destructive power. Also known as the labrys in ancient Greek, this is a double-sided axe used to inflict hits to strike the enemy. Another iconic weapon is the spear, a long, deadly weapon designed to be thrown at enemies and used in combat. It's infused with divine powers, with intricate details that escalate its use in war. It symbolizes his wrath and the duality of war, as its sharp ends are used to strike and hit the enemy and act as a shield of protection, akin to the capability of taking a life and protecting it. In the battle against the Trojans, he inflicted devastating effects akin to his role as the god of war. His armor is indestructible, and the mere look of it demoralizes the opponents. His armor provides him with durability, protecting him from deadly physical or magical attacks. The armor amplifies his godly strength, as it can channel the energy into unleashing powerful energy weapons and blast on his opponents. His power as the god of Olympus gave him the ability to perform molecular reconstruction, which allowed him to turn any hard metal into the weapon or armor of his choice, as he could bend those metals and substances as he wished. Marvelous verdict. With that, we come to the end of this mythical exploration of Aries' life, powers, and abilities. Being a god of war, his superhuman powers and capabilities made him an indestructible force. However, as we all believe that good wins over evil, Aries also gets defeated because of his evil deeds. He's proven to be a deadly and almost invincible foe to Wonder Woman, making him one of the most tremendously strong and intelligent supervillains of all time. His backstory and connections with Greek mythology also pique a high interest in readers, who will remember him forever. Let us know what you like best about him in the comments below. See you next time!